Night had fallen over Jerusalem, but the city was not asleep. In a quiet upper room, Jesus Christ sat at the table with his disciples. The flickering light of the oil lamps cast long shadows on the walls. The air was heavy, as if the night itself knew that something great and terrible was about to unfold. Jesus looked at the men who had followed him for years. His voice was calm, but filled with sorrow. "One of you will betray me." The disciples looked at one another in shock. One by one they asked, "Surely not I, Lord." But among them sat Judas Iscariot, his heart already turning toward darkness. Later that night, Jesus walked with his disciples to the quiet olive grove of Garden of Gethsemane. The moon hung low above the trees as Jesus stepped away to pray. He knelt on the ground, his voice trembling. "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me, yet not as I will, but as you will." Moments later, the silence of the garden shattered. Torches flickered through the darkness. Soldiers marched forward, and leading them was Judas. He stepped toward Jesus and greeted him with a kiss, the sign of betrayal. Jesus was arrested. Through the night he was questioned, mocked, and accused. Soon he stood before the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate, though Pilate found no crime in him. The angry crowd shouted louder and louder, "Crucify him," and so the sentence was given. Under the burning sun, Jesus carried a heavy wooden cross through the streets. The crowd followed as he was led to Golgotha, the hill called the place of the skull. There, nails were driven into his hands and feet. The cross was lifted high. Hours passed as the sky grew dark and the earth trembled with grief. From the cross, Jesus cried out in agony, yet even then his heart was full of mercy. Finally, with a final breath, he said, "It is finished," and he died. The ground shook violently. The curtain in the temple tore from top to bottom. Even the Roman soldiers standing nearby were struck with fear. One of them whispered, "Truly, this was the Son of God." Jesus' body was taken down and placed in a tomb given by Joseph of Arimathea. A massive stone was rolled across the entrance. Guards were stationed to watch it. The world fell silent. For 2 long days, hope seemed buried behind that stone. But on the 3rd morning, before the sun had fully risen, several women came to the tomb. As they approached, the ground began to shake again. An angel of the Lord appeared, shining like lightning. The stone rolled away. The tomb was empty. The angel spoke with a voice that echoed like thunder yet carried the warmth of dawn. "Do not be afraid. You are looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here. He has risen suddenly." The impossible had become reality. Death had been defeated, and as the women hurried away with hearts pounding, Jesus himself appeared before them alive. The cross had been the night, but the resurrection was the sunrise, and from that moment on, the story of Jesus Christ would change the world forever.